Happy, happy hump day. Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Got all the buttons going. It's Valerie Shepard here from the Hartley Center for Mindfulness and Self-Mastery. And it is a beautiful hump day morning where I am. And I'm hoping that it's a beautiful hump day morning where you are. Just going to take a moment and send a little prayer. One of my clients is having a big surgery this morning. I've been thinking about her a lot, and I'm just sending some healing energy to her body and love energy to her doctors and everybody involved in her care. And I'm sure all her angels and ancestors are actively pursuing her greater health this morning. Hello, how are you? It's another Wednesday. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for joining me. Valerie Shepard at the Hartley Center for Mindfulness and Self-Mastery, where self-mastery is all about mastering you in your life so that you can exquisitely manage whatever your life brings your way. And sometimes life brings us some amazing things, like a surgery I think she went in at like 5:30 this morning. And it's a fairly big surgery. And so being able to be with that, to be in the presence of the fear and what else comes up when it's like we're facing things that have the words morbidity, mortality associated with them. So sending all manner of love and joy and health and peace to her and her family. Looking forward to hearing the good news when the surgery's over. Thank you for joining me this morning. I have a topic that is really important at this time of year. I'm so happy to talk about it. We'll be talking about it in a couple of different ways this time of year. It's the acquisitive nature. Our acquisitive nature. The title of today's Hump Day Happy Chat is What More Do You Want? What more could you possibly want? What more could you possibly want? Have you ever felt that way? Have you ever maybe said it to someone else? Like a partner who maybe wants you to do something differently. Maybe a child who's like, can I have this and can I have that and what about this and look over there? I told you that this time of year brings it up a lot, right? Has it ever been you? Like sometimes for me, the what more could I possibly want is me asking myself, good grief. Like I look around my environment, and even though I call myself downsizing and I do a pretty good job of releasing and decluttering, I have a long way to go. I am blessed. There is an abundance of things in my life and in my world for which I'm extremely grateful and that I love. I mean, a lot of the stuff around me, I put in a giveaway and then I take it back out. Have you ever done that? Oh, I'm going to go through my closet and get rid of a whole bunch of clothes. And then you start to try them on and you can't imagine. You come up with all these rational reasons for why this item, maybe, it's a summer and maybe next summer it'll fit better and it'll look right. And if I could just find a pair of pants to match that color of pink. And yeah, yeah, I know. I'm laughing because I hear myself in all of those examples. Yes, indeedy. Acquisitiveness, our acquisitive nature, defined as the excessive interest in acquiring things, money, or other forms of material expression. The things that create the clutter. And why do we need them? What is it that we're doing through our acquisitive nature? So you've probably heard some variation on the theme that desire is the root of all evil. Not evil, suffering, but the desire for things, desire for states is the root of all suffering. And I had definitely heard that quote, and I thought, good morning, thank you for joining. Glad to have you with me. That's not what I thought, but I interrupted my thought to say that. So hi. So I heard that, the desire and wanting things is the root of all suffering. And I had trouble with that because I tend to feel that everything, as I'm looking out my window and I'm in a loft, so I'm seeing at the tree level and I'm looking at birds. And as I'm seeing things around me, everything that I have, I'm like, well, if there's divine energy in the universe and it's creator of all and sustainer of all, and I have in me desires for things, aren't those placed there by that same divine loving energy? So then why would that quote be so? And that quote's attributed to the Buddha. So I take it seriously. And then when I understand deeper into what that quote was a part of, it was a teaching around this idea of attachment and detachment. And so attachment to things, attachment to having them, or to not having them. Isn't that interesting? To having something or not having it. Like, I don't want that. Attachment is what creates the suffering. The desire is just in us to be fulfilled in one way or the other. It's the attachment to having it a certain way, having it look a certain way, feel a certain way, be a certain way. The attachment that becomes the real problem. So this whole acquisitive nature of ours, like if we talk about why is it that we feel like even in the midst of a full garage or a full storage unit or a full bedroom or a full closet or a full trunk or a full porch or a full backyard or a full boat or a full camper or a full life, in the midst of the fullness that we already have, why is it that we want something more? We always want a little bit more. Well, there are a couple of ways to look at this. One of them is the ever expanding nature of that which we are a part. What the heck does that mean? That means that the universe is always expanding. There is always abundance because abundance is begetting on itself. So the dream is dreaming itself, is creating in co-creation. And the more that we desire abundance, the more abundance shows up. Interesting. If you look around where people are feeling lack and limitation, there is still abundance. And maybe it's their being cut off from the abundance that they have that's creating the energy of, or the experience of, or the illusion of lack and limitation. Like, so the way this is played out in my life is that I can be focused on that one thing. Like I'm surrounded by plenty and plenty and plenty and plenty. And that one little nugget of that which is not as plentiful, still here, not as plentiful, either as plentiful as I would like, or as plentiful as what I see others enjoying. Ooh, that's a tough one. They have it, I want it. Have you ever wanted everything that everybody else ordered at dinner better than you wanted what you ordered? That's me. Sometimes I'm like, what's on your plate? What's on your plate? Right? Wanting what I see out there that I don't have as plentiful, and wanting to have it be different than the way it is. Good morning. I see you out there. Thank you for joining. This whole idea, and it's really important, I think, to start thinking about this at this particular time in the calendar year. And this is a big time. So we're coming to not only the end of 2019, but the end of an entire decade. Like some transformative energy is here. We're about to turn the calendar from a 2019, the decade of 0 to 19, and starting the new decade at 20. Big transformational energy is alive on the planet, and as it is on the planet, it is within us, and vice versa. Law of reflection. So this idea of what more can I get? The title of today is What More Do You Want? What more do you want? Do you really want more? Do you need more? Isn't that an interesting question? It's an inquiry that I think is worth unpacking and like dancing in a little bit. Like, I don't believe it's you ask the question, you look around your room and you make an answer and then you're done. Well, you know that with me, it's a lifestyle, right? It's a living way of being, to constantly be asking the question, not to make desire bad, not to make desire wrong, not to make desire the root of all suffering. It's the attachment to the desire that's the root of all suffering. So there are two things that I talk about in this conversation of desire and suffering. And oh my gosh, my nose is running. That's been happening a lot lately. There's some divine energy in a runny nose. I'm claiming it. Stay tuned. Hump Day, happy chat of the future. Why is your nose running? Go chase it. Okay, we're coming back from that. Okay, so when I think about this whole idea, there are two things. So number one of the reasons that I've noticed this desire for more and different is that we haven't learned to be satisfied with what we already have. Ooh, that feels a little bit heavy, doesn't it? Feels a little bit like scolding. We don't have to take it that way. We can just take it as part of the inquiry. Am I satisfied with what I already have? Like, how would I know? So a couple ways that I think about being satisfied with what I already have is I look at how I treat the things that I love. How do I treat the things that I love? So am I caring for them? Maybe this is a difficult one, right? Am I even engaging with them on a routine and frequent basis? Or are they like sitting behind glass and I dust them from time to time and they're like a talk piece and there's something special that I love that so much. But other than those momentary fleeting awarenesses of walking past the bookshelf, or, somebody comments on that particular item, or I get the good china out or something like that. Other than those fleeting moments, the object of that love, of that admiration, of that attachment, of that desire, it's not really engaged. It's not really exchanging its energy with me, nor am I exchanging my energy with it. So how is that working? Wanting what I already have. So this idea of wanting what we already have is about, am I able to give what I already have, the love energy that exists in me, that can then have that love energy expand out into my world, into my environment, into the universe, as me, as an extension of the me that I'm being in this moment. So wanting what we already have is not passive. Wanting what we already have is an action-oriented state of being. It's an action-oriented state of being. So the action might be gratitude. So maybe we remember in our daily gratitudes or our moment-by-moment gratitudes to be thankful for those things, the books on our shelves and what we've learned from them, and how what we've learned from them contributes to who we're being in the world in any given moment, in our lives, in the lives of others. Maybe the demonstration, the action orientation in wanting what I already have is to spend time with it. So to spend time with my coloring books, to spend time with my bowling ball, to spend time with my skis. I gave my cross-country skis away, one of my beloved gifts that I received from my father. A great Christmas surprise was cross-country skis, and I loved them, and I loved skiing in them. And then when my father crossed over, one of my ski partners, or my only ski partner, my primary ski partner, was no longer in the body physical. And so skiing with him wasn't going to be a part of winter excursions, right? And he was an amazing downhill skier. I mean, my father did black diamond runs and did telemarking. He was an amazing skier. And no doubt because he was an amazing roller skater. Back when roller skates had 4 wheels, y'all, my dad did trick skating. Beautiful stuff, like ice dancing on roller skates. I love roller skating. Not on, what are those called? You know what I mean. So my beloved cross-country skis, what I was noticing about how I was wanting what I already had was they really never got used. I got to a place where I wasn't going cross-country skiing. You know, it was one thing when I lived in upstate New York. It was another thing living out in Southern California. There aren't that many opportunities to ski unless I take myself there. And I just haven't done it in a long time. And so when I downsized, the love I had for those skis was that I wanted them to be loved in action. Loved in action. Gratitude is an action-oriented expression and experience. And so I didn't even sell them. I gave them away. I gave them away to someone who did a lot of cross-country skiing, showed me the photographs, talked to me about the various places that he went, and my skis and the boots, everything. I gave them away so that my skis could have more love, more of an expression of, I want what I already have in the moment. So what more do you want if when we get into the space of wanting what we already have in an action-oriented way, a couple things happen, right? We reignite the connection to those things. So reigniting connection to your skis as you plan a ski trip and you go use them and you remember, oh yeah, this is why I love my skis and why I love skiing, and isn't it awesome that I get to do this every year? You reignite your connection to your baking stuff and you bake a cake and you decorate it, even if you're eating keto, and you give it away, or you find a keto recipe for cake that you could just devour in gratitude for your amazing ability to make a keto cake. Wow. If you make one and you don't know who to give them to, I'll take one. We know how much Valerie loves food. I'm a foodie. So this attachment to things, wanting what we don't have, would start to diminish when we actively practice wanting what we already do have. So one practice, and I encourage and invite you to engage in, is to go through your things, your contacts in your phone, your friends on social media, your connections that you used to do this or that with, the material belongings that you have. Go through your acquisitive nature, the beingness of you that shows up as the acquisitive person. I need to have it. And see if you can rekindle the I already have it and I love it. And then the next thing, wanting what you already have, is the beginning, right? It's the beginning. It'll start to quiet your acquisitive nature because you'll reconnect to the abundance that you already have. Like, oh my gosh, I forgot this. I already have 3 red shirts. Have you ever done that? Bought something that you were absolutely positive you don't have and you need one. And you get home and you open the drawer to put it where it's supposed to go and you've got 3 of them in that drawer. How does that happen? Whoopsie daisies. Curious. Yes. And I'm saying yes, as in me too. I see you. I am you. So wanting what we already have ignites this re-immersion of the energy of, yeah, I have that. And I'm so grateful. And wow, maybe I don't need another one. Maybe I should dust off this one I've already got and see what's going on with it. So that's part one. What more do you really want that can give you happiness in any given moment is wanting what you've got. Gratitude helps you get there. Loving it, giving it love. And then the second piece is practicing detachment. Detachment is a mindfulness practice where you let go, right? Let go, which isn't throwing it out of your life, this desire to have something more, but you detach from the needing of it in order to have your fulfillment, in order to call yourself happy, in order to see yourself as complete, in order to be considered successful, in order to feel like you're all of it's fulfilling. To let go of the attachment, to practice detachment. Boy, I really, really love that. And not having it doesn't change the fact that loving it feels good. I really, really love that. And not having it doesn't change the fact that loving it feels good. Now notice the subtle difference in there. In attachment, loving it only feels good and gets fulfilled when you actually have that thing. And this is true of people and material possessions and time in nature, how we spend our time. Loving it only feels fulfilling and good and makes you happy, like triggers happiness when you have it. Detachment is loving it without having it. Loving it as much and getting the benefit of that love, that expression of, I love that. It's called loving it from afar when it's with people. You know how sometimes you're interested in someone and they're not interested in you? Yeah, been there, done that. And learning how to let that need, that desire to have it, the possession of it, to allow it to fly away. And the same with things, to be able to look at that beautiful pink top and know, I have plenty of pink. That one's really beautiful. Now, the other thing that I practice when I feel my acquisitive nature getting superiority over my conscious choice, right? It drives me in a moment and I just want that thing. Well, I just trade off. So if I buy something new, and this is definitely true of anything like black shoes, I'm not allowed to buy a pair without giving one away. So there's a way of keeping a cycle of reciprocity happening, the give and flow, the ebb and flow in the universe happening, even while you already have a lot and you might acquire some more. So try that. In the dance with letting go of your acquisitive nature, not needing to get anything, and also acquiring things like respect, acquiring things like understanding. Like, can you go a whole day without feeling like somebody didn't acknowledge your brilliant ideas and be okay with that? It's great to be noticed and appreciated in positive ways. And the question is, can you give that to yourself? And also, can you go a couple days without that acquisitive nature, wanting to have it and then making your life less than because you don't? Or can you practice detachment and allow yourself to let it go? Beautiful ways to create the happiness that bubbles up from inside you and therefore it's there all the time. Self-awareness, self-acceptance, self-love, knowing what's going on in and with and for and about, from you to you. Juicy and delicious. I love this stuff. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Valerie Shepard. That was this week's Hump Day Happy Chat. What more can you possibly want? It's okay to want it. And be in the space of meh. And then the last little tidbit, I almost forgot the last little tidbit, is staying aware and seeing where it shows up. How might it show up? Awake awareness. How might what I'm wanting show up in a way that isn't exactly what I attach to it? Like it's exactly what I want, the energy of what I want, without it being the exact thing that I want or the exact person that I pointed out and said, I want that. We'll talk more about that in next week's Hump Day Happy Chat. We're going to talk about the sacred intention process, the process that I use and that I teach. It's not only mine. It's known and taught around the world in many different cultures and practices around how to have more of what you want, how to call it in. Many blessings. Thank you for joining me. Hump Day Happy Chat, signing off. May all be, I want to sign off with my favorite prayer, the prayer on loving kindness, also from the Buddha. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be safe. May all beings be happy. May all beings awaken to the light of their true nature. By the way, your true nature is love. And may all beings be free. Yes, emotional freedom. Letting go of that which no longer serves and spiraling into your highest consciousness. That's the freedom that I'm talking about. Many blessings. See you next time on the Hump Day Happy Chat. Signing off. Mwah. Bye. Hitting all the buttons. You got to hit all the buttons, if you really want to sign off. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, sign off.